everyone, Cheryl here today with KaDoodle Bug Designs, and today's project is going to be the Easter egg bunny peeker. And I'm also going to show, for those that are new to the SVG files and layering, I want to show how I do it, and then how over time I've changed it. So first of all, the first thing you want to do is definitely have the photo of the SVG file. So if you want, you can take your phone, grab the photo, maybe even go to KaDoodleBug's site or whoever you're purchasing your files from, and pull up the photo like when you're going to purchase it and just make it enlarged. You could save the photo and enlarge it, and then you could also go into your display and brightness on your settings on your phone and go to the auto lock and change it to never. The only thing I suggest is to remember to go back to auto lock and put it on 30 seconds, because otherwise your phone will eat the battery up pretty quick. So so the next thing is you'll have your photo next to you to see, and you'll want to separate all your pieces. So the way I do that is, like, if there's little extras, I put them aside. If there's pieces that will go on a piece, I put them together, get them all together. I get the ears together over here. I have the eyes. Here's the head, the muzzle, the nose, our backing piece, the body, and the hands. And so what I used to do when I first started, and I'll just try to go through it pretty quick, is I would look at the photo and try to determine what I would lay down first. So by looking at it, I could see that the blue egg and the yellow are going to probably be our first ones. So you could always just come to this piece and get them laying down on there and do it that way to kind of see where everything lays. So that's one way, and that's how I used to do it when I first started. And then over time, after we do more of them, I can kind of look at the photo. Not everybody can, but as you do more of them, you'll be able to too. It's just a matter of going through the layering process on a lot of different files. So typically, I would know on most of the KaDoodleBug animals, like the bears and the gingers or the bunnies and all that the ears and the arms would be the first pieces. Now, if it's put with a lot of other pieces, I have to look and be like, okay, well, obviously for me, I need to get these two on first, because then the ears will go on, and then the arms, and then the body, and then we can put the head on, and so I do it like that. And so I'm hoping that this kind of helps you out a little bit. If there is a KaDoodleBug file, an SVG file that you would want to see me work on and show the process, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try my best to get to that, because I try to grab files each week and then work on them for different projects that I'm doing. But I don't mind at all helping out and trying to help the process go a little easier, because I know it can be overwhelming at first. But I guarantee you, after you do a lot of these, you'll be like, okay, you can look at the photo and you'll figure it out. There are a few, I have to say, that even now, after doing hundreds of these, that I will put down the piece. And so, like, for instance, we'll put these eggs down. Let's just get those down first so I can kind of show you. So on some of the files, you may have the outline for it, but sometimes I'm like, okay, especially like I think on the gnomes, I tend to always put, if it's got a face, I always put the face and then see if the hat lines up. So I will still do that just to make sure everything covers up. So on this one, we do have the little outline here and the one right up here to show that egg where it needs to go. And so just like that is going to be how it goes. So it's going to line up here and then on the outer part. And so we've got that one. And then on this yellow one, what I suggest doing is, since we know these two go first. You could always put this down and get it situated, and then grab the egg that is going to cover that. When usually I have these put together, but you would kind of want to just make sure that everything's covered up. And so you could just do like that, but I know that this one's going to be covered, so I'm good on that. So now, since we have these little eggy pieces, we can go ahead and just get these put together. That way they're ready to go. The process on these sometimes looks hard, and some of them are, but like if you go ahead and do laying them out first, if that helps you, that's where I would start, is laying them, getting the layering without glue, and see. And then again, over time, it'll all just come, it'll all pretty easily. And so we have our one egg ready to go, right? Sorry, you guys, I'm getting sick. And so, and normally I try to do all my videos in the same day, but I've had some people asking about the process. So on this one here, let me see if I can lift it up. Oh, it's on the back side. See? So I even did a little boo-boo there, but there we go. We've got it on the right side. I thought that looked kind of different, but that's okay. So we'll get it. So laying the pieces out definitely helps. And to make sure you've got the pieces going in the right, so they're not backwards. Since that white cardstock is a flat cardstock on both sides, I kind of didn't see that, but okay. So we'll have all our pieces, right? And I just used some Barely Banana ink because I don't have the ink pad. I definitely threw it out. I remember now that it was definitely bad. But if you don't have an ink pad and you have the refills, you could always do it on the glass and pick it all up with the dauber. You know, do like 1 or 2 drops depending on how many pieces you need to do. So we know that these go first, right? And then, like I said, I always do on most of the animals, the ears first. Usually it's the ears and the arms and then the body. But again, if you've got other pieces involved that are different, then you'll want to refer to the photo and see what's gonna go first. So if we put the ears first on this one, those eggs would be covering up the ears. And we definitely want to see these little cute ears, right? And so we'll just stick those down. So these are the inner ones. Okay. And so now we have our little ears down. So now we have the ears and the eggs. And so this is where you could always layer again. So if let's say you're looking at the photo and you're not 100% sure, you can come over and lay these pieces down and see, you know, how you like them and what you think, you know, does the body go on top or does it go, you know, how it goes. I always do the body on top. And so I'm going to show you, I only did this one part because here, that's all you're going to see is the upper part. And same with the arm, I only did that side. So you can also reference the photo and see, you know, do I even need to cover that? Or do I even need that arm? Could I leave it out? And so you could do that as well. But now for the color I used on the white, I did use the Starlite Silver and the dauber. And on that one, because it's a pigmented ink, you really only need to daub it once. And it will do all the pieces. And sometimes I've even taken just the dauber out of the drawer and used it without grabbing the ink pad because there was enough left over from a previous project. So I am going to add this arm since I am kind of showing, and I'm just going to place it wherever it gets covered up by the egg, so it's not going to matter. And then of course the body's going to go over that. So we'll just go to glue that on. Okay. So now if you're not sure if you're up high enough, what I used to do, and I still do sometimes, like with the gnomes and such, I'll take the head and kind of place it and make sure it's going to cover up everything. Oops, let's get it right there. And for some, I must have did the head backwards too. Yep. So that's the other thing. So when you have the flat, and this is a really thin cardstock I had come across. I've been kind of going through some of my old single sheets of paper, design paper, and I found so much cardstock just thrown in with it. So I've been pulling all the cardstock out, and some of it I've stuck in the file folder for the drawer for my Cricut. And so I figured I'd just use it, even though it's a thin cardstock. When I do use white, most of the time I use the embossed, and then the embossed is on the back. So that's how I know, or the textured, sorry. Okay, so we have the body and the arms, and of course we have our head on there as well. And so the next thing we want to do is get our eggs on here. And so we have these ready. So we'll just add these. So if you're looking at the picture, you can see that the big one is underneath this one and that one. And so that's why we're doing this one next. Okay. And then since we've got our yellow down, now we can add the smaller one. And we have our little placement lines to kind of show on that. And then now we have our little egg. We have two of these little eggs. The one she's holding and the one's going to go over here. I'm going to go ahead and add these on now. And that way they're on. Okay. All right. So we have those on. And so now that we've got the big pink egg on, sorry, then we can go and do the muzzle. And so we do want our muzzle on first before the egg, because the egg overlaps that muzzle. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the little muzzle on her. And usually I'll do my chalking right now. So, and you could always come in if not, but you'd want to get the chalk done up on the cheeks. Let me see if I can do that really quick. I'll just grab a color. I'm not going to, oh shoot, maybe that's not the color. So I'm just going to, and I usually will soften it up with a light and then just come in. I'm going to do this really quick so we can just kind of get to, okay. And then I just blow that off. So on the glue, I'm not putting it all the way because I'm going to leave a little room for these eyes. These eyes don't go in, tuck in all the way. So I like to do that. I found that that's easier for placement on the eyes than trying to place your eyes on first. So now what I usually will do is take the glue and figure out the eye goes there and one there. And we have our eyes over here, right? Boy. Okay. So it just is going to get tucked in a tad. It's not under a whole lot. Like the other eyes usually, they slide in quite a bit. These eyes here, no, they're just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and get the black parts on really quick. In this video, I just kind of wanted to show mainly how I do, how I do it and why, and what works well for me and changing over time. And you'll find what works well for you over time as well. And so we have our eyes on now. And then, so the next thing we could do is add our little dots. If we're going to add the little dots here, and if you want to add some dots to the cheeks, you can add those now. This one I waited because I have that egg. So we're going to go ahead and get this egg on pretty quick there. So let's get the egg next. So you just kind of find where you think it's going to work. Oh, I think my husband tried calling me. I thought I heard the house phone, and so I'm going to have to finish this up pretty quick. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just do... Okay, so now we just kind of look at our picture again where the hands are placed like so. And then we can come in and do her little nose. And we want to just get that nose on there. And then we'll do the eyes pretty quick. So let me go ahead and do that because we have all our pieces on. And so definitely having the photo next to you is going to help guide you through that. This, I'm just adding a liner, and I like to have where I'm sticking the pin right there so it's not thick on these eyes. And this one I did a little thicker, but I did shadow it out with some gray and black. You just want to make sure these eyes, if you're going to add eyelashes, you want to make sure the eyes are dried. Otherwise you could ruin these little pins. So we have that one done. And so the next thing I want to do is grab some gray, and I'm just going to come in and do some shadowing here and right there. And if you get too much, you can blow on it, blow it off, or you can come in with your eraser and kind of erase it. Typically, I just try to get in close, but okay. And then I'm just going to do my eyelashes. I like to start at the top. You can do them short. You can do them long. You can do them long, short. Do a few down. You could always come back and pull them out more. And I'm just kind of lightly doing the little strokes. I'm not really pressing like hard or anything. If you want them like super dark, you can press them hard. You could always go back in. See how we have some white right here? Oops. You can come in with the chalk there. That's, and a little bit of the pin. And then that just kind of will blend it in a little bit. So I'm going to use some of the gray to kind of shadow. We want to just shadow that. And then I'm going to use a tad of the black. And I think we're good. And then we just add our highlighting. You can bring that black up. You can bring the black up, or you can come back in with the gray. I like the gray, definitely. And then I just kind of try to blow off the excess. And if you need to come back in with your pen, you could always do that as well. You can come back in to kind of tie everything together. Like so. And there you have it. So now we'll just add some dots and we're done. And I'm going to add the dots there. I just want to add some lines and some dots. And we can do the little dot here. And then her little eyes. And then a line there. And then usually I'll just do like some dots and a line or a dot. You can kind of just pick. And then, and there we have it. And so I do hope you enjoyed my video today on working on this little one. And if you do have any requests for any KaDoodle bug designs that you would like me to do a piecing video on, I would love to do that for you. Just leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, please also let me know. And if you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos, please follow. And I thank you for stopping by. Have a good day.